This will be a test match using the 4-worm variant. Keep this hand. And let's see what we're up against here. Huh. All right. Yeah, I'll take the portend. Interesting. Let me go for Tempting Worm here. Foil. That's fine. They need their second land. Perfectly happy getting a 3-for-1 with that. There's a portent. Trying to get back into it and recover from their big card advantage loss there. I've got a great turn lined up. Ooh, wow. I will therapy instead of duress. I'm just going to name the Dreadnought. Nice. Yeah, if I had nothing, they could have done Dreadnought plus Stifle, which would have been unfortunate, but I mean, I don't think it's that much of a drawback because, I don't know, I mean, it just doesn't speed them up that much. It doesn't fundamentally change the way the game is going. Anyway, I'll play the Tempting Worm here, get my clock on the board. Surprised they didn't put their island in. I guess they have their reasons. That's a fine draw. Get in for 5. And hit their hand again. Go for the impulse and response. Gosh, nice. Misdirection. Oh man. Yeah, good thing this isn't a tournament match, or they'd really not be happy to see that this is worded differently from Cabal Therapy. Anyway, I'll take the Stifle. What I want to do is just keep them from landing a fast Dreadnought. Just buy a little time to beat them down. The next turn I can play the Baloth and flashback to hit Impulse. It's going to put me in a great position. Factory and Island. Yeah, that is not going to do it. Play my Baloth and end the turn. What did they pitch to misdirection there? Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, it's not something that, well, I don't know. It might have gotten them out of it if they drew exactly what they needed. Probably won't change the outcome though. Going to 1. And yeah, I don't think it's possible for, well, I don't know. Yeah, they're conceding. Okay. So that was an interesting game 1. There was that unfortunate misdirection mix-up, but I guess that is what test games are for. And I really don't think it changed the outcome here. So moving into the second game, we're going to do a little sideboarding, bring in Naturalize, bring in this Crumble, take out. I want everything on 1. I want everything but Withered Wretch on 2. I don't want Bone Shredder. And Baloth is just inefficient. I want Faceless Butcher for sure. Anything else I want in the sideboard? Maybe Quarian Ranger? I don't know. I mean, it's debatable whether they would want to bring in Tide. I would think probably not, because they don't want Chain of Vapor, and I don't know how they could find the space without really cutting into the core of their deck and making it less efficient. What do I want to take out? Yeah, the Quarian Ranger might just come right back out. It's worse than the draw anyway. What do I remove? I don't know, I could take out a Wall of Blossoms, but yeah, I guess I just don't see anything better to remove in its place. I do not like boring out Wall of Blossoms, but I don't know. I simply don't see a better alternative. Maybe I have one too many sideboard cards against Dreadnought. I should probably just cut the Crumble and play something for another matchup. This is an interesting hand. I would think they're probably taking out Days. So Birds is probably just going to land and stay in play for the duration of the game. I don't have anything to kill a fast Dreadnought with, but I don't know. It has a lot of disruption, at least. Looks like they're thinking about their hand. Yeah, I'll give it a try. Yeah, it looks like they have Portent. They are not shuffling. They must have found what they need. Though I have no idea what that is. Survival. Okay. Bird and end, and hopefully they don't go for it. I mean, the only time they would go for it is if they had a lot of protection, and against that kind of deck. I mean, I guess against that kind of hand, it looks like that is what we're up against. My chances are not super good anyway. Just being on the draw and them having what it takes to to not hold back at all with it. I'm trying to talk and think at the same time. So do I survival and then go get Orangutan and try to do Orangutan? I guess I would want to draw a land. Do like land duress Orangutan. Or alternatively, I could hit their hand hard with discard and Wall of Blossoms, and then I take 12, go to 8, I draw another still yet unseen card. I can play like, I don't know, Mesmeric Fiend or Spectre, but I can find the means to block 5 damage and go to 1, and then I have another draw. I'm trying to figure out if that's better than going for survival. I think it might be. I'm going to try it. Yeah, a lot would have to go my way to make the survival avenue work out. Take the counter spell, of course. Wow. Yeah, their hand is not as good as I thought it would be. I think they just figured that their chance of winning is to just jam it in and go for it, which I actually agree with. In the most recent league, I played against Survival Rock from the Dreadnought side, and that's pretty much what I did after board. I just sort of went for it, and it worked. So I don't know. I mean, how long do you really want the game to go against all this discard? Also, I should note that they shuffled with that portent just now. They're looking for more protection, obviously. Okay, I have my plan. I'm going to therapy, and I'll just name, I guess, whichever cantrip they don't play, probably opt. Impulse. Flash is pretty solid overall, but not at this particular moment. Play survival here and end. The plan is to block 5, go to 1. After blockers, use the bird to toss out the Spectre and go get... Do I just go get Squee? No, that would leave me vulnerable to Daze. Better play it safe. But on the other hand, they probably took Daze out. Yeah, I'll discard Spectre, because that way, if I draw Naturalize or Crumble, then instead of playing Orangutan, I can play Fiend plus whatever the removal spell is. Hmm. Yeah, I have to go for the orangutan, because then there's also the chance that I might draw maybe a bird with which to flashback therapy, or just another discard spell. There are plenty of reasons why I would not want to put another mana between me and having this orangutan in hand. Tempting Worm. Okay, let's give it a try. Yeah, they should have flashed prior to letting it resolve in case they get Gush and then Gush into foil or something. Or maybe Gush into 2 dazes, but maybe they boarded out foil because it is card disadvantage against against a deck that punishes that pretty severely. And no, I'll hold off and do the search in a bit. Yeah, they could be entirely without foil and daze just in the entire deck. That would not be a surprise. Especially if they went in for the Tide plan. I don't see how else they could fit it in. There's the Gush. Presumably they just drew for the draw step. That's a big flash of insight. It is very useful against discard. Okay. Discard Tempting Worm. What do I want? Probably. Do I just go for the squee now? Yeah, this is the time to get the squee. Happy to have a land there. I'm going to discard the squee. Yeah, I'm actually going to get Wall of Blossoms. And now that I see what my sequence of plays is going to be, I should have played the Fiend first before searching, but it's unlikely to matter, at least I hope. Yeah, I guess this still works. Even without seeing their hand, it does make some sense. And, well, now that I drew Duress, let's see, do I want to attack and risk dying to Chain of Vapor? Or not? You know, I think right now it's probably my game to lose. I don't want to risk it. But yeah, I was about to flashback therapy, but I mean, with Duress, I just can't justify rushing it. Okay, there's Dreadnought. We have Stifle. Okay. What is the follow-up going to be? Nothing. Okay. I would certainly like a land. Sack the Orangutan because the Wall of Blossoms is a better blocker against Mishra's Factory. I'm going to name Vision Charm the most potent answer here. Foil and lands. Oh, they do have foil. That's too bad. How am I going to do this? Because I still have to not die to Mishra's Factory. Man, I wish I had another Octavia Orangutan. Maybe I should have a second Orangutan in my sideboard. It's one of the things I like about this build. It just has more room in the sideboard overall than the regular version. What can I do here? It's probably going to be, knowing that I can't resolve Butcher, just Wall of Blossoms, and if I draw Crumble, I can play discard and then resolve the Crumble and still have two blockers. So yeah, that's my one way out of here. Play the wall. Nope. And actually, now that I think of it, I should have played the discard prior to the wall, because, I mean, it would have been really risky and it would have been wrong, but considering that I only had one way out anyway, and it necessarily involved arresting the foil, on the off chance that they might have gone for the wall with the foil, I really should have done it beforehand. But yeah, I'm dead, unfortunately. All right. Yeah, I might have messed that up. Like in the turn prior to their playing the Dreadnought. I don't know. Okay, but on to the present decision. Yeah, I don't want to change any of this. Another land bird hand, but I mean, I'm not going to say no to it. All right, another strong turn one with Portent. And they found what they wanted. Nice. That was a great draw. Lead with duress. They do have chain. Alright. Am I okay if they go directly for the Dreadnought? Do I just want to take Gush? They're going to have another unknown card. I'm going to have 2 removals. I'm going to take a chance here and grab the Gush. Sadistic Hypnotist. Yeah, it's not time for that quite yet. Alright, they're going for it. Yeah, I'm going to play the wall, and then I'll just play whatever I get during their upkeep. Nice, and then I'll have 1 more removal ready to go. I do like the efficiency of Crumble. Yeah, maybe with the sideboard space I could, and yeah, I'm totally fine with them chaining it. I still need to find another enabler. But yeah, maybe with the sideboard space I could split between, I don't know, like Crumble and another Orangutan on one side, and then, I don't know, what is it, Emerald Charm that destroys a global enchantment for 1 green? Just go for efficient, narrow stuff. Maybe like a single Reverent Silence. It would be great to just have my artifact enchantment removal spells on another level of efficiency. Though, of course, there are numerous matchups where I want to kill artifacts and enchantments, and Naturalize is nice there. I don't know. I mean, of course, there are sort of halfway options that could be perfectly viable. Another wall. All right, I'll just gladly play the survival here. Yeah, now they're in a position with me having survival where they're on the back foot, and I'm going to gain just card advantage each turn at a better rate than them. Plus, I can convert my card advantage into superior board position in a way that they can't. Like, they can pile up cards, but ultimately they just have lands in play and cards in hand, where I can sort of deploy my cards in a more proactive way. Yeah, time to get the Squee engine running. Okay, that was a good draw. Discard Squee. I'm going to go get, I guess, Wall of Roots. Play the bird. And end. Now they're going to be in position where, on the one hand, they're trying to dig their way out, but on the other hand, they have to counter something every turn. Because I'm just going to roll out threatening creatures over and over. And yeah, even now when they have the mana and a fair number of cards in hand, this is where Parallax Tide would be at its best, but I only have 2 lands. I have 3 creatures making mana. Just doesn't make any sense. I have to think about this. Do I even want a different card than Grapeborn Muse? What could I possibly get here? I'll just keep it like that. All right. Now I could go for Hypnotist. I'm going to go for Mesmeric Fiend and see what they have. Impulse. Okay. Foil. Wow. Okay. What do I think about that? Do I want to play the Tempting Worm? That does kind of open the door to them having Gush. I could just... I could just play another Bird of Paradise, maybe? That'd be pretty solid, I guess. Huh. I guess, am I in a position where I want to put pressure on the board, or where I want to just... Oh, I think my position is strong enough. I'm going to play the Tempting Worm. Because once I'm sufficiently safe, I want to put pressure on, so that way they have to make their desperate last-ditch attempt to kill me when I have the resources to stop them without too much trouble. And actually, do I want to pitch that Muse? What would I get instead? Yeah, I'm going to do it. I could just give Hypnotic Spectre and then do Spectre plus another bird. Or if I draw land, Spectre plus another worm, maybe. I'm going to get Wall of Roots. I initially had 1 Wall of Roots in the 4 worm build, but even with the dropped curve, it's too good to not play at least some amount of multiple copies. Alright, yeah, time to play the ultimate must counter. And they did not counter. They still have flash, but this is really going to come into their resources. Misdirection, ooh, and a Dreadnought. I can't imagine what their third better card is. Yeah, that's it. All right, well, that ran very smoothly. Glad to have beaten Blue Dreadnought.